Hey everybody, Comic Crack. It's 25 to 12, so just trying to keep it down a little bit. Lillian is here on the floor beside me in her chair, sleeping away. So I just wanted to talk today. The last of the 3 orders that I did came in, and this one was from Drippy Bone Books. Yeah, I have a couple of things from them before. There's the front of the postcard that they sent, and I look in their site quite often because they've got a couple of artists and a couple of books which I did get today that I've wanted for quite a while. So finally just picked them up. They were cheap. And then here's another postcard advertisement. I guess they have a book coming called The Humans by Keenan Marshall Keller and Tom Neely. There's a little description on the back there. High octane, no holds barred, ape biker gang chopper ride into 70s exploitation genre bliss. Sounds great. So coming soon. The only complaint that I have about them, and I actually emailed them today about it as well, when they charge me through, they have a store Envy site where you order the books and pay through PayPal and stuff to ship it from the States. He's in California, Los Angeles, California. To Canada, on the store Envy site, it said it was going to cost $22.50 for 3 books. So, whatever. I let it slide because it was stuff that I really wanted. When it got here, it was in one of these little envelope things, which I wasn't super crazy about. I see now he sent it as express post, and there's tracking number with it and stuff, which whatever. At the end of the day, he paid actually $10.55, even if this thing cost like $2 to get. That's still kind of, he charged me $10 more for shipping than it actually cost. So I sent him a message today, just kind of complaining about that, saying, you know, the books arrived in great shape and fast and everything, but that's a pretty steep fee to be paying. So I'm hoping that he can do me some sort of deal. I'd mentioned to him in the email that I would much rather get books for that money than get the money refunded to my credit card. You know, because if that was the case, if the shipping was cheaper, I would have ordered a couple more books anyway. You know what I mean? So we'll see what he says. So I mean, that's my biggest complaint. And I mean, it doesn't happen too often. I've been pretty lucky, like I said earlier in the week, with Koyama, because it was Canadian. It was free shipping through Chapters. The books that I got 2 days ago, the shipping was relatively cheap there as well, too. So I had no problems with that. Plus the amount of books that I ordered from the other place and the size of them. That's kind of why I thought that the $22.50 was reasonable when I saw it on the site, because my impression was that one of these books was a really big, oversized book, so I thought it would be special packaging for it. I'd always assumed that it was. I'll show you that one last anyway. So anyway, that's all beside the point. I got the books, and I'm super happy with them. One guy, this first one here, this guy, I have one mini comic that I got in like that box set. I don't know if you've seen that video. I got this box set of a bunch of comic books, and he did one called Softcore, and his name is Box Brown, and it's a flip book. So one side is a short story called I Think of Demons, and the other side is a story called Sticky Icky Icky, and this is definitely my favorite of the two. Basically a couple of guys hanging out, getting high, and eventually the one guy's sister comes home and ends up drinking and getting high with them, and they're kind of having a little conversation. His buddy passes out, so this guy's going to make a move on the sister and wants to have sex with the sister, and of course it goes wrong, and I think he comes in his pants and has to go home, and he excuses himself, so there you go. And then the other side is just a guy who's just filled with negative energy, as everybody keeps telling him through the book, and he's got to try to find a way to calm down and gain control of all that. There you go, there's a look at that page. And then the last page there. So there you go, that's Box Brown. I really like his art style. I don't know, it looks really nice, and the coloring is done really good too. It's actually a good quality mini book too. The paper quality is really nice, so that's a pretty sweet one. And then one by a guy that I'm a big fan of, Derek Ballard. I have his first book that he did called You Will All Die in Pain, and then I have some anthology type books where he's got a couple of stories in them as well. So this is number 2 in his cartoon show series, Your Daughters Will Bear Our Children. And there's a good look at his kind of style on the front there. There's a look at the back cover. A couple of reviews from people about the first one. So in this one, it's kind of one big story throughout the whole thing, with a couple of very short stories right at the end. Whereas I think the first one was kind of short stories throughout the whole issue. This one has a futuristic type theme. Some guy from the future, still linked with the future on some sort of mission, and then a rat gets turned into a robot because he gets jizzed on, and he's found this crazy videotape finally after running the gauntlet in some like 80s video game looking scenario there. Very, very strange. His stuff goes from like just really perverse and supposedly like erotic to kind of mixing with sci-fi and kind of stream of consciousness type of writing, and just all sorts of bizarre behavior. And then at the end we get a centerfold. And like I said, 2 short stories there. Again, like a really, really nice quality paper. You know, thick enough. Great. I really like Derek Ballard. I think I follow him on Tumblr, and I think on his site he did a title card for Adventure Time that the show is what he had said at one point. Speaking of which, I was watching it today because we got our cable hooked up, and there was one called BMO Noir, which was really, really great episode. At the end, Michael DeForge's name in the credits, and shoot, I can't remember the other guy's name. Something else that I just picked up recently. So 2 guys doing. I think DeForge was kind of on the team that kind of did the character development and creation and stuff, and then the other guy, John Vermillia, I think, was on backgrounds and stuff like that. So that was kind of a cool little surprise to see that name. Now, finally, I'll read you the. It's called Bittersweet Romance, and in his own words, by Stop or My Mind Will Shoot, the one whose name is synonymous with fear, the physical embodiment of all living and dead bald eagles, merchant of truth, the undisputed outlaw god of the underground anthology, Victor Cairo. This is the one that I thought was going to be oversized, like even much bigger. So I thought that this is why the shipping was going to be so much to ship this sucker out. So Victor Cairo is a very damaged, very disturbed individual. But his art is a complete mind fuck of, that's the inside front cover right there, inside front cover here. It's just dense with little gags, little weird shit. It's just layers upon layers upon layers of coloring and pen and pencil and all sorts of craziness. And the thing that I will say about this, though, was I really, really, really didn't like the subject matter. It's really, really misogynistic, and that really bothers me, actually. It bothers me quite a lot. I guess there's sort of something that happens at the end with the main protagonist or whatever, but in my mind, not enough really to justify some of the imagery that's in here. Now again, though, that said, his artwork is something to behold. It's just the craziest shit I've ever seen. It's kind of like Robert Williams. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's just the classic kind of underground. And I mean, I guess that's kind of what he's going for, right? Like he's completely going for that underground, offensive, just craziness that those comics were about when they first came out. Sorry, hold on one second. Okay, sweetie. Okay. Someone's awake here, so we'll leave it at that. It's okay. We'll leave it at that, and I'll see you this weekend.